Hi there, Vicky. Yes, it's Anthony and Fay here for another week. I'm talking about running a RediPlan session. So first I'd like to acknowledge that I'm coming to you from the lands of the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nation, and Fay's coming to us from the Gunai-Kurnai lands. And we'd like to acknowledge any Aboriginal, Torres Strait Islander people that are watching this video, and also any elders past, present and emerging, and acknowledge that this land was never ceded. Hi again, Fay.
Hi, Anthony. How are you today?
Good. It's great to talk to you again.
Yeah.
So in our first session, we were talking about the RediPlan and running through the 4 steps. And I thought we'd come back this week and we'd have a bit of a chat about how you present it to people, and maybe some tips around how you're doing that, and so that people can get a bit of an understanding, a bit of a snapshot as to how this works when we actually present it. So over to you, Fay. How would we present the RediPlan to a group of people?
To a group of people, we usually start off with just a very basic introduction of the fact that RediPlan was established in 2007, and the aim of establishing it was for building the resilience of households and neighbourhoods to manage health, financial and material consequences of emergencies.
Awesome.
Right. From then we would ask the group what the first words are that come to their mind when they hear the word preparedness. And we write that down on either a whiteboard or a piece of butcher's paper. We explain to them that there's really no one definition of disaster preparedness, but that Red Cross suggests preparedness is protecting the life you value living, which is a great statement. It puts the person at the centre of the activity also.
That's so important, isn't it? And that's what we
definitely
do so well at Red Cross, I think, as we put people at the centre of whatever the emergency is.
That's right, yeah. And it gets them thinking too that it's not just about basic survival, but what we can do now to protect our future.
Fantastic.
Yeah. So then we go on with another activity about preparing your minds. So we give a scenario of an emergency, and this activity is really about psychological preparedness, and having a better understanding of your likely psychological response to an emergency situation. So we get them to anticipate the situation, that it will be stressful, to identify their typical physical and emotional responses, and managing their feelings and thoughts, so that they can feel more in control. So that then leads on to the 4 steps that we talked about last week. And what are they? Let me just refresh myself.
Get in the know, get connected,
yes,
get organised and get packing. Yeah,
that's
I've
it.
got a RediPlan
You must have
right
watched
here,
the video.
so I've got it easy.
Okay, and the one that I really like is the community mapping, which is the one that I talked about, where they have the 3 concentric circles, and you use that to write down family and close friends, the acquaintances that you have become the centre, larger circle, and the periphery is that big outer circle, which is people that you know distantly. So that's really good too.
Yeah, so there's some great work in there, and I think preparing our minds is a really interesting concept. I think
It is.
How can people possibly prepare their minds for a bushfire or a flood or the impacts of some of those things? So being able to at least have a conversation about it, and start to think about it and start to enter that space helps people to understand, is this something that I really want to stay for? Do I really
Exactly.
have the physical and the mental resources to be able to stay and to work through this, or is it something, or do I need to make another plan? Do I need to, as a result of that conversation and been thinking about it, do I need to be thinking, well, I need to leave, and what's that mean? And what are the implications, and what do I need to take with me? What do I need to make sure that I've got safe? So there's a
Yes.
lot of things there, and I also love the idea of the community mapping. So in any community in emergencies, we see things emerge really quickly. There are local leaders that emerge and get on the ground quickly and start organising community and aid and food and barbecues and all those sort of things. So,
Mm.
but getting a little bit ahead of that is what some of that community mapping does, and it also helps us to understand what's going to happen if we lose the bridge, or what's going to happen if that road is closed, or
That's right.
and understanding what some of the key infrastructure is and what it means to us. I always think of there's a Kerrang power station, for those that know that area. Often in floods, it is really well sandbagged and supported and looked after. But the implications of losing a major power station is that half of the state could be without power. So understanding those things is really important.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah. And there's so many areas and small communities that one road in, one road out.
Yeah,
So,
exactly. And the situations can be different with flood and fire. So a
oh,
fire might
very.
come through quickly, but floods, particularly down your way in East Gippsland,
Mm.
can be long campaign events that can take time, and can take time for water to recede and and the road to open again. So we have to be thinking about how long might I be isolated as well.
Yes, yeah, exactly. And up the Tarra Valley well, not last year, must have been the year before, I think, people were actually isolated on their own properties because they couldn't get out onto the main road due to the flooding. So that was pretty hard for them.
It's pretty difficult. And again, just looping back, preparing people mentally. How are you going to
Mm,
feel if you can't get off your property for so many days, and you don't have power and you don't have phones? And
that's
how do you
right.
make sure that your mobile phone doesn't go flat, and all those things? So, and
Yes,
that's why the RediPlan is just such a great tool to step people through and help people to understand their current level of preparedness and where they probably need to be.
yes, definitely. Yeah,
Terrific. Thanks so much, Faye.
not
I'm
a problem.
sure I'm sure we'll have another chat to you another time.
Okay, my pleasure.
Thanks, Faye.
Bye.